My name is Gary Butterfield, he, him.
My name is Kay Ross, she, her.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireball's Dispatch, our monthly Q&A and topics episode.
Yeah, we're going to be reading your questions, and then at the end, we're going to announce what we're going to be covering in the greatest month of the year, October, every year, our all horror game month.
Yeah, excited. Always a great month. We're just going to get to it. I'm going to get started here with Michelle. Michelle says, are there any good games that you just don't like, or mediocre games that you like for more silly personal reasons? I had to quit playing BioShock 2, a game I think is pretty good, because I hated the sound of the little sisters calling me daddy over and over. Some real grating Radiolab short stuff. Conversely, I grew up in Massachusetts, so Fallout 4 gets a full letter grade bump from me, like having 6 dungeons where I saw They Might Be Giants in concert.
Yeah, that would probably do it. That at least gets a letter grade, I'm sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Shit, I don't know that I've ever straight up dropped something because of something petty like that. And also, I don't know. This is hard to think of examples from.
There are a lot of things that are really irritating that are not the most important thing about a game, but aren't super petty.
Yeah.
There are things that are major friction points to me. Here's other people will think this is minor, but I don't.
Okay.
So I don't like Her Story. And the reason I don't like Her Story is because every time you watch one of the video clips, you have to watch a woman slowly take a drag from a cigarette and prepare to speak.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me want to strangle her and the game dev. I hate it. I just want the information. I'm in detective mode. I'm not here to watch a movie. And even when I'm watching a movie, I don't want to watch somebody take a drag of a cigarette and prepare to speak that many times in a row.
Yeah, no.
It happens every single clip. I think it's a huge mistake. Single-handedly, there are things about that game I would like. I think that the Sam Barlow's trick or whatever, the idea of detective through search is interesting.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I like Hypnospace's version of it so much better, because you just get the information. I want to fucking step on that woman's neck. Don't take that out of context. When I was playing that game, I got so fucking mad at every single time.
Hey, shit adds up.
Wait. Yeah. It's when I've tried to watch Decker all the way through, watching the intro and credits every single time. It's just a huge, and to me, it doesn't feel minor, but that's probably the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah. The closest thing that I can think of is and there's no reason to play these anymore, but one of the reasons I wasn't so crazy about the Mario Advance games was because they added in the voice acting for jumps and stuff. And that's no good. I don't want that. I think the only one of those that I really played and enjoyed was the Mario 3 one. And that's because, new levels, but also it's Mario 3. That's worth it to me to have on a Game Boy Advance. Right. I had played the first one. I had played the Mario 2 one, just on a friend's borrowed Game Boy Advance. And I was like, oh, this sucks. And then, I figured, if they're all going to be like that, that's just annoying. I can just play on my emulators. That's fine.
Yeah. They never should have done that.
No.
Huge mistake. In terms of bumping anything up, it's hard to think about something. Probably the closest thing would be, and I don't love this game or anything like that, but one of the reasons why, I'm glad I played the 2018 Call of Cthulhu game is it's just in my zone. That thing's in my Q zone. There's a lot of problems with that game, but it's in my Q zone.
Yeah. I don't know. That gets into, it's not a very petty reason that I will round up on some of the games that I stream, the horror games, because there's a really cool idea here, or it's expressed in an interesting way. I don't know, Chorus of Carcosa, game I streamed recently, not good enough to bring to the show, but literally nothing is king in yellow in video games.
Yeah. It's rare.
Yeah. Trial Flight writes, "Hey folks, do either of you have games that you enjoy where the primary focus is controlling a vehicle and or learning to operate it? I kind of feel like open world games kind of push these kinds of Sims/action/racing titles to the margins. There's something neat about a game where a vehicle isn't easy to control right out of the gate, but offers a rewarding experience once it's mastered, i.e. the Souls-like difficulty curve. Is the experience of hopping in a plane for some Rogue Squadron-esque shooting in an FPS enough, or is there maybe a benefit of more ace, a benefit for more ace combats, racing sims, elite dangerouses? I guess Tony Hawk might count, etc. Thanks."
I have nothing against these. In theory, I haven't played a lot of them. I'm not very driven by vehicles. As a thing, I liked, hey,
in Soviet Russia.
Yeah. I liked Ace Combat. Like when you played it, it was fun. It wasn't, didn't kill me, didn't bowl me over, but I thought it was fun. I love Tony Hawk, but that feels like a different thing to me.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of these. I recently reacquainted with this in the Outer Wilds because, playing the DLC, even though the DLC, you do not spend very much time in the spaceship. Yeah. And learning to control the spaceship was not a highlight of that game to me.
No.
It's also not the focus, though. I haven't really played something where it's the focus for this.
Yeah. I guess that I'm like a minor sicko for this. Because I don't know, I put a shitload of time into My Summer Car, and every single vehicle in that is a nightmare to operate because it models things, So I've never driven stick. I get the concept, but in this video game, you have to do it. And that that game, for people who are not aware, that is a game where you have to assemble a car. Yeah. Literally from first principles. I have wanted to get SnowRunner onto the schedule for a while because I think that is a really interesting game.
I've been curious about that, and that's been sold to me as Death Stranding-esque without a story.
Yeah.
In terms of considering terrain and stuff. And that's always the part of Death Stranding that seemed interesting to me. So I'm down. I'm curious about SnowRunner. I have not played it, but I'd be down.
Yeah, there's so much of it, that we wouldn't be able to do all of it. But it's not a game that has a story that you need to see all of. It's just all different kinds of missions that you do in very low traction situations. I'm very curious about the new game from the SnowRunner people, Roadcraft, which is basically kids on site. It is the SnowRunner, it's SnowRunner getting around and stuff, but you are operating heavy equipment in order to do disaster recovery.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting to me. This is, I tend to favor more of a Pilot Wings side of the stuff. Yeah. Than that personally. But I am curious. I consider myself curious of this. Matthew asks, "Hey, Gary and Kay, here's one for you. Do you have any games that you aren't particularly interested in playing yourselves, but that you love watching other folk play? Maybe you've tried your hand at it, but aren't digging the controls or the gameplay mechanics or what have you, but the visuals are awesome and the story is compelling, so it's fun to just watch somebody else play. My wife recently started playing Hellblade, and I've been watching her play it. She handed me the controller about 90 minutes in so I could try, and I found the controls to be super counterintuitive since I didn't start from the beginning. But I love watching the game and also enjoy helping with the puzzle solving component. It feels like I'm playing without actually having to play, which is its own sort of fun."
I don't do this, so yeah.
I currently don't do this, but I get it.
Yeah.
I do. I guess sometimes I watch competitive Left 4 Dead, which I talk about that. That's a thing I fire up every few months and enjoy watching and learning about. But that's like a sport.
Yeah.
It's not just a let's play. I love the idea of a let's play. I don't watch a lot of them. Most of my let's play that I actually watch will be to refresh my memory for the show or to see stuff I didn't see in a game if it has different paths, or to see how somebody else did something. I'm I did this stupid. That can't be the best way to do this. Yeah. Somebody else probably did this smarter than I did. And the speed runs I also watch, but it's not exactly the same thing.
Right. And just, are there any games or any kind of games where this happens? And that's where I get tripped up because I don't know, if I had a buddy who was playing a game and I was over, Okay, yeah, I'll watch you play. We can talk while you do this, or we can trade. We can trade off. That's just fun, no matter what it is, right?
I love doing that. Like my favorite parts of like Duckstream are just watching, people play. Like I love doing this on paper. It just doesn't fit into my life that often.
Yeah.
Now, but I am in favor of this as a thing, and I think it's a big reason why streaming and Let's Plays are big.
Yeah.
When you're a kid. Just watch. When I was a kid, I used to like watching my cousin play Sega Genesis like all the time, more than I like playing it myself. So,
same thing with me in PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nolan writes, who would be the worst Baldur's Gate 3 companion to be stuck in an elevator with? Minsk is probably the most egregious farter of the bunch, but I feel like Lae'zel would immediately go buck wild trying to break the door open. What did the two of you think?
Minsk would be, I didn't think about the fart factor.
Yeah.
Minsk would be if Minsk is too gormless to understand if you were making fun of him, and he would have stories and would be willing to tell them.
Yes.
And they would be, good stories. Like I could literally ask Minsk, like, what was the ball spawn like?
Yeah.
Like, tell me the story of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and throwing a ball through your perspective. And I'd have a nice time. Gale would like to tell stories, but you don't want to hear them.
Right.
Like, because Gale, Gale grew on me as the game went on, but like I had to get to know Gale pretty well. That's not an elevator pitch.
Gale's an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah. And I don't think an elevator is long enough to acquire him.
No, not at all. Being stuck in one. I'm going to hit you with this one. Fucking Astarion.
Yeah.
He would do
Astarion
nothing but complain the entire time.
He would complain and he'd be bored of you. It'd be a lot like being stuck in an elevator with like David Rose from Schitt's Creek. Like you'd constantly feel like he was making fun of you. But yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, Chihiro would also be rough. Who would also be able to tell me those stories, but wouldn't. Like, and you just get sick of my shit instantly.
Yeah.
Shadowheart wouldn't be that fun. Early on, Shadowheart goth.
Yeah.
Like Shadowheart's great. There's a lot of depth there, but you really have to work for it.
Oh, definitely not the worst though, right?
Not the worst, but I still think rough.
Yeah.
Like the best is easy because it's like, or like the better ones. Cause like Karlach would be a blast.
Yeah.
Be super fun. Will would be fine. Hey man, like,
yeah, tell me about some, tell me about some cool shit you did. Yeah.
Will would ask questions about you and be interested. But yeah, worst is it's kind of stiff competition there.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. The Emperor. The temporary companion at the end. That'd be pretty rough.
God!
I don't like that.
That hurt, Gary.
Don't like that. That'd be annoying. And you might die. Brad says, "Hi, diddly ho, neighbors. Recently, my Facebook algorithm has been feeding me Golden Age Simpsons clips. After fine dining for a few days, the time the house was sinking and Homer asks Surly Joe if he could see the bubble on his meter stick as it slides off the shelf has floored me. I was left fiending for some Simpsons gaming. So I set up a PS2 emulator on my Xbox Series X and booted up the PS2 Classic Hit and Run. Much to my dismay, the nostalgia quickly faded with experiencing some of the oft-forgotten janks synonymous with PS2 games, and the unfair timing for most of the missions was just some old bullshit. What I did enjoy was the process of setting the emulator up. I had more fun in figuring out how to do that to comfortably play the game from my childhood than I did actually playing it. Do you ever feel the same way? Has the task of setting up a game been more rewarding than the play itself? And should nostalgia be left well enough alone?
I don't know if the task... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go.
I can only speak for me. I hate setting up things. It doesn't mean I necessarily always want to play old things, but I hate fiddling with emulators. Like downloading a BIOS, that kind of thing, getting the US BIOS versus the Europe BIOS and then matching it to your .bin file and stuff like that makes me want to die.
That's why like I figured all of them out for RetroArch and then just sent you a folder.
Well, I've got all of them figured out now from my Steam Deck. I've got like most of everything.
Oh yeah,
done,
yeah.
But it's very irritating. Like I'm capable of it. I just don't like doing it.
Yeah.
And then the joke is always with Oblivion, like you just mod it and that's the game. But I don't find that part fun either.
No.
Like it's cool to look at the mods, but I would rather play with the mods for me personally.
Yeah, that's the fun part is the game that I'm there for.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just as much as I can take pleasure in solving the technical problem of it, if I want to play the game, I want to play the game, I guess. Yeah. So it just feels like it feels like an obstacle, right?
It's also gotten worse, in part because of how the internet is so shitty now.
Yes.
Like finding somebody, guidance for any of this stuff becomes ungoogleable because Google is really bad now. That sucks. Like that leads to additional frustration for me.
Yeah. Same. Gotham says, so back to the should nostalgia be left well enough well enough alone? Was Simpsons Hit and Run? Yeah.
Is that the one we did, or did we do? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Road Rager. I thought Simpsons Hit and Run was okay.
Okay,
like I had some fun with that. I wouldn't have beat it if we weren't doing it for the show.
Yeah, I suppose that's where I fall too. Yeah,
like I had fun playing it though. For that, like I think it's actually kind of a nice thing to pick up and put down. I would say sometimes.
Yeah. It just depends. And when everything is essentially free, I don't know. What do you have to lose?
Yeah. You gained because you decided setting up emulators was fun. Homer found his passion polishing and mixing boards.
Gotham writes, "Hey y'all, I recently played through Doom the Dark Ages, which at least starts with the premise of the Slayer being sent out on missions for the Makers and their fellow brethren of misspelled proper nouns. And this got me thinking. I enjoyed the gameplay enough that I would devour a DLC mission pack that was like, and this month we're going through this set of levels to take down this random hell corporal. Stay tuned for next month where we go after Moloch and accounting." Any other games? What other games do you think would benefit from essentially the World of Assassination treatment? Give me some missions. Let me play around with the space. And for the love of God, maybe it doesn't have to tie into a larger overarching conspiracy.
For me, most.
Yeah.
I love this shit. Like the DLCs, just throwing some K-bait, the DLCs for Teardown are this, which I really enjoy. And I would take those forever.
Yep.
I would take a Dishonored level a month for the rest of my life. I would take a new Deus Ex, like Mankind Divided. You go on a little mission to a new hub.
Shit, fucking like Neon Struct. It doesn't even have to be like as high production value as Deus Ex, right?
I love that shit. I love mission packs.
I'm fucking shocked that you didn't say Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk would be a great one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe it's just because we've just been getting a bunch of Tony Hawk now. And the my current Green Goblin mask is the PC version of Tony Hawk Underground has been supported by the community. So you can just have Tony Hawk with every Tony Hawk level in it. That is, it feels irresponsible to my copy of 3 and 4 to like start pursuing that right now. But it is an eventual thing.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
For me. Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Including people have ported in levels from like Skate and stuff. Like they're
maniacs.
Levels from Skate, levels from Dave Mirra, levels from the Razor Scooter game. People, there's the first level of Super Mario or Mario 64 in there. It's like, and they're not designed for skateboarding levels, but like that is a hole I could fall into for eternity.
Oh God, you get to skate around. Yeah,
yeah. Like that would work for me. I love just a little bit more of a thing. Give me a new clan in Monster Train every month for the rest of my life, and I'll never play anything different, and we'll have to retire the show.
Same. Like, I didn't need Frostpunk 2. It was okay, but disappointing. Like literally just like every quarter, give me a Frostpunk DLC like we got. Yeah.
Like me with Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon 2, I thought was interesting, good, liked it, but doesn't have the staying power. If you gave me a new biome, same. I love this shit. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. It's network policy that mission packs are good.
Yeah. If I like a verb set, and especially like level design based games, like a lot of the time, like a new Hitman level, all of those are worth it. It's fucking nuts that they did DLCs for that. And like, here's a bank. I don't know. And then the bank fucking rules.
Yeah.
Like, God, Hitman is good. We got to get a Freelancer on the show. I really want to poke at that. Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about it as like a way to force you to play Hitman differently in a way that's neat.
Yeah, I've had Freelancer kind of on my like list of possible maybes, and the only thing that has gotten in the way is time.
I've had fucking Doom the Dark Ages on my list of maybes too, and the only thing that's gotten in the way is time. The disease I have where I don't play something because we might play it for the show, has stopped me from playing Dark Ages, and it looks like my shit.
Yeah.
So I've heard the criticisms of it and everything, but it looks cool to me.
Yeah.
Eric asks, I remember Gary mentioning the Forge MTG app. I use it mainly for testing commander decks. How does the solo campaign compare to the Chandelar game? I like the idea of a TCG RPG, and was wondering if the solo campaign on the Forge app was worth checking out. Unequivocally, yes, it is one of the most generous free games in existence. I really have no notes with it. The only thing is that I'm an old, and it contains almost every Magic set, including up to current Magic sets. And as far as I can tell, there's not a way to limit that. Because I'm a dinosaur, what I would want to do is be like, what if this just went up to 1997? And I would know what everything is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to do that. I've Googled around. Google is bad now, but I've looked on the Reddit and stuff. If they add that functionality again, that would be a hole I would just fall into for eternity. Yeah. As is, I still have fun playing it and everything, but I don't. Every time I run into cards from like a set from 2014 I don't know anything about, I have to learn what they do. Yeah. So it's slow for me. If you're current with Magic, though, you will have a blast. It's really good. It's really clever. Again, one of the most generous things that they just give out for free. Don't tell Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. You keep your fucking mouth shut. Yeah.
Everyone's under silence mode on this.
Yeah. And just like later card stuff. Like whenever I see somebody post one of those, like it, the text is just an incomprehensible wall. And when you read it closely, it's like, oh, like this subdivides a turn into like 20 steps that like both people are involved in.
It's all stuff that seems really crazy because you're coming in late. Like anything, like if you go step by step, it's fine. Yeah. Games get more complicated and they teach you the mechanics over time. It's just been going on since, 1994. It's a really long time for just new mechanics to be like 30 years of just adding complexity is crazy. Yeah. Coming in after 30 years, you can't be expected to understand it. And like, I'm not quite there, coming in fresh, but I'm not practiced either. So,
yeah. Well. Jack writes, I've used the Steam Discovery queue for a couple of years to find new games I'd like, but I'm finding that the balance between AAA recommendations and niche games that very few people play is pretty segregated. This always leaves me wondering if I'm missing the opportunity to discover games I'd really love. Is there a site or series of sites you folks have eyes on that you find guides your own potential finds in an optimal way? Side note, shout out rogueliker. I do indeed have that particular disease. Rogueliker. What is that?
That is either from Context, a website that tells you about roguelike games, or it's a tag on Steam recommendations.
Rogueliker is it's like a dedicated blog. Neat. Yeah.
I don't, because of the show, I don't end up, has two effects on this. One, I don't do a lot of discoverability stuff because I'm not playing a lot of stuff, not for the show. Yep. And my Steam recommendations are messed up because of abject suffering. Like I get stuff that I would never play in a million years, recommended to me all the time. The closest thing I get to this are more likely like YouTubers. Yeah. Who I watch, who will, I'll throw on a YouTube over breakfast and it'll be like Mortisimal Gaming, who just does mostly CRPGs and stuff, and learn about a new CRPG and be like, man, I'd like to play that at some point if my brain wasn't diseased and I had more time. Yeah. And then on Steam, when I was playing games with Derek, which I want to start doing again, like we played through Split Fiction, there's a curator called Co-op Cowboys. That is pretty good for like, this is a fun co-op game. This and largely we use that for like, it works. You don't have to like set up a proxy gate, thing to do it. To do a backwards SCSI port.
Do a tunnel.
A virtual tunnel system or whatever.
Yeah. I use Blue Sky for this. And then I'm fine with the Steam Discovery queue. I've trained it even around the abject suffering picks. And even then, like, it's not limited what it's going to serve you. So like by going through them, you just train it more. The only thing that gets difficult with is I do not turn off the adult games because I think they're funny.
So you're getting a lot of just hentai bullshit.
Yeah. Which
master.
like, yeah. So I just look at that, laugh, and then, skip on and maybe have to start a new queue. But that ends up working pretty well for me.
Yeah. Moving on to lifestyle questions here. Deanna asks, how is home ownership? I think Gary mentioned that he bought a house. This is true. I'm on my house anniversary right around now, shortly into a couple weeks away.
Shit, it's only been a year.
Yeah, been a year since this. How is your home ownership, Kay? You own a home as well.
I do own a home. That's fine. It's been a long time since I've rented, so it is hard. Hard to draw a contrast anymore. The thing that I am noticing, just a house is going to be larger than an apartment generally, is I'm running into the problem of having places to keep things causes you to get too much shit.
Sure.
I've got too much shit on me, especially as I think about maybe needing to move if things go badly, right? So trying to get a little bit of a handle on that. But that's kind of the big thing. Hate mowing a lawn.
Yeah.
The
maintenance stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into that. I've talked a lot on Abject Suffering and just kind of various things about the evil tree, Tree of Heaven 2, Tree of Hell, which has been an ongoing struggle. Like that sucks. I have though, like we ended up putting some money in, a little bit. We had budget for like home stuff, some of which was money they took off the price, for us, because there were things we wanted to have happen. And we got our backyard now livable. So I have this little spot where I can sit in a chair in the shade and like read. Yeah. And I try to do that during the day as part of my like get offline initiative. And that's really nice. I could do that if I was renting this place too, but it doesn't feel quite the same.
Yeah.
And even just making those changes and not having to ask anybody is cool. I like that bit. There is an all-pervading anxiety about it though, because of this evil tree, where it's like it could be anything. For us, it's the evil tree, where it's like I don't know if the evil tree is going to like shoot its roots into our basement, destroy our foundation, and then it's like, well, there's $30,000 down the drain that I don't have, or if just nothing will happen. It's a fucking mystery box and it sucks.
Yeah.
We're working on it. There is kind of a semi-permanent solution. Like we're working with our neighbors who we get along with really well, to eliminate the main tree. There's like the head vampire. And if we kill the head vampire, we can start killing the smaller ones. Yeah. But the head vampire is on their property. It's navigating that stuff is new.
Yeah, that's rough. I have to deal with this with my neighbor who I also get along with. Their tree is the trunk is on their property, but the majority of it hangs over my lawn. Yeah. So whenever there's a storm, there's just a shitload of like sticks, like limbs come down. Which is like, oh, okay, whatever. It's also the source of all of the leaves that I need to rake. But she's an older lady who can't really do an awful lot of stuff. I actually mow her lawn for her, so I can't be mad. It's illegal to be mad.
It's nice it feels different having neighbors. Than when I rented. Like when I rented, I didn't really pay attention to my neighbors. There was no real good reason for that, other than just feeling very transitory. Now that I'm like here, like I've met some of my close by neighbors and they're cool. Yeah. That feels nice. Like the, at some point, like there's this weekend, there's like a block party. You're going to meet some more neighbors and hopefully they're cool. Yeah. And like we're all in these tombs. We've all picked the place where we're going to die. Let's, at least know each other a little bit. And there's also a political, like current hellscape argument for like knowing your neighbors, like being friends with the people around you is good, like good praxis. Like it is going to be useful as things turn to shit.
So what are your practical skills?
What are your practical skills? And like, will you notice if I get black bagged? Like, hey, there's somebody who might. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's ups and downs. Generally I like it. It's only been a year, so it's starting to feel very homey, and we're slowly making changes. And as we kind of form it into what we want it to be, it does feel a little bit better. Expensive. That's the other thing too, is it is expensive.
Yes.
So we've had to cut corners in other ways, which is, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very lucky to be able to do so.
Yeah. Douglas asks, this might be a tough question to talk about on air. Do you ever get tired of what you do? And by extension, do you ever worry about what you'll have to do next? I'm asking because of your unique situation, being your own boss and so on, and how it might compare or contrast to my and maybe thousands of others in your listenership's situations. I always marveled at the lifers I see in the jobs that I've held over the years. I can't imagine staying in a job for so long, but I'm nearing my mid-40s and I work in the flooded journalism/content job market. So because I'm old, my parts are failing, have gray in my beard, and will not burn the midnight oil like I used to. I feel an existential dread about what could even possibly come next, or worse, if I'm forced to stay where I am for too much longer. 6 years running a magazine for a professional organization. It's basically a dream job, but I'm tired of it.
Yeah. I think about this kind of thing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a good question. Not too hard to talk about, but it's like a serious thing.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think, so I think I've talked about this before. I like to think that if you, Kay, or I got sick of this or something happened,
mm-hmm.
let's say you decide, hey, I'm going to put the K in Al Qaeda, and we get canceled.
Okay.
Yeah. For whatever happens, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Duckfeed's done. I like to think that I could then move on to another creative games related thing and bring some audience with me and rebuild.
Yeah.
Be that like YouTube essays or a different podcast or writing or something.
Yeah.
It would be significantly less successful and get much less money.
Mm-hmm.
At least at first, probably in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
So there would just be some really serious lifestyle changes. The thing that makes me feel not, full of dread all the time is that I am used to living pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we had to sell our house and move into a cheap apartment or move into a different state,
mm-hmm.
me and my wife and I's union is rock solid. Yeah. She has a very stable job and stable in-demand job skill set.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd be fine.
Yeah.
It would suck. Like it would be hard to do that. And then the next tier under that is I have to go work at like a Target or some shit because I don't have transferable skills. Like I do have those skills, but it'd be really hard to argue. Mm-hmm. Like, do you want to let me run your podcast network? I can do it. That's not really a job that people advertise for, right? So like going and doing something like that, it would be miserable. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't enjoy it very much, but I'd be okay. Yeah. I think I could try to find the happiness in that. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have Live, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like that would be really difficult. It would allow us to have like a slightly better lifestyle, and also having somebody with me during that would be really useful because that would be hard.
Mm-hmm. My answer on this, I do not mean to sound dramatic, but this is true. I am recently
sick of this.
Fuck
not to sound dramatic, but this is my last episode. I'm done.
I can't drop this mic because it's attached to my desk.
What we're announcing is October is the end.
No, I am only recently acquainted with thinking about and being invested in a future.
Yeah.
Like when these thoughts have crossed my mind, do I ever get tired of what I do? Only in the, I guess in the micro, but the thing that is good about it is we have a lot of leeway to just kind of determine, like if we hate something, if I came to you, Gary, and said like, hey, this is fucking miserable for me, we would find something else to do, to replace it, or we would shift duties, right?
Yeah.
That kind of flexibility and independence is great, Mm-hmm. I worry that having been self-employed for so long, I am unemployable insofar as, it's not like, oh, there's a gap in my resume. I have a demonstrable body of work, skills, proof of income, all of that. It's not like I ever took well to authority or supervision before. Just ask anybody that I've worked with.
Mm-hmm. That hasn't gotten better.
No, it's not. Yeah, I've developed tendencies. I've only gotten more disagreeable. So that is a little bit of a concern, but I don't know. Surviving is surviving. I would find a way. probably would, like you, think like, oh, if this ended, take as much audience as I can, start something, by myself that'll be less successful, but figure it out. Like any other media job would entail much less stability than we have right now. So that is like the thing that fills me with dread.
Yeah, it is scary.
Mm-hmm.
The other part too, because I didn't answer it, like I don't get sick of it because we have that, we can change it. And I think that one of the, it's a kind of a double-edged sword, but like we talk a lot about how early on, the only way we knew how to incentivize people were to make new shows. That has had a negative effect in that we do a lot of shows. It's too much.
Yes.
Had a positive effect in though that we do have a big variety of things.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Talking about like a horror movie once a month is nice. Breaks things up. Talking about Better Call Saul is nice.
Yeah.
Breaks things up. And that having that almost as a way to, if we got sick or if we had to somehow diversify is also cool to have a foot in those ponds.
Yes.
So like, oh, we're going to be a TV club podcast network. Like we could do that.
Yeah.
I would miss talking about games, but like they could still pop up in whatever the equivalent of Quackstack was on that network. And we could do that, don't know whether the audience would stick with us. We like to think they would.
Yeah.
But like it is scary, but we have thought about it. Not sick of it, but I think that is because it can change. And we have like once a year, we do basically make changes based on trying
how things feel.
How things feel and how to prevent. Like this year, I feel like the guest episodes have been really successful. People have liked them. Yeah. That has been a change. So this doesn't happen.
Yes.
So we don't get sick of this. We probably have another rerun or live episode or something coming up because we'll be preparing for Duckstream. That's always a really hard week. The week of and doing Duckstream, like we'll probably have another one of those episode, and just people being understanding about that and everything has been really cool. Yeah, and kind of a loud proof against this, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything more to say about it. Yeah.
No. Shall we move on to other kinds of questions? About 45 minutes in.
Yeah, let's we're about 40 in. Yeah, let's hit a couple of media network or two, and then lightning round out. Yeah.
Jake says, "Hi Gary and Kay. YouTube follow-up question: who are you currently watching? I've been watching Backlogs, Doomwolf, and JK Leads for Dark Souls content. Majora and Ghost Charm make great videos and help me with sleep during these troubling times. I'm not sure I've actually finished one of their videos, which are good, but they do help me sleep. Recommendations?"
You're more of a YouTube person than I am.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's what I watch in the morning while I eat breakfast. And I listen to a lot of YouTubes as well. It's hard to think of who's new. There's stuff that me and Liv watch because we're both interested in it, which a lot of times is food video. We like the Babish food universe. In terms of cat or animal videos, they cannibalize each other's content a lot. So we chose one. And the one we chose, and this is a high recommendation, is cat animals because it's mostly animals being assholes.
Okay.
Like, if you like a video of like a cat pushing another cat off of a table, it's a lot of that kind of thing. Really enjoy that.
CAD, like, that CAD?
It is, but it's capitalized like AutoCAD.
Oh,
it's capitalized like they're architects. But yeah, CAD capital animals.
Okay.
I like that. In 10 minutes, every couple days. They do that. So that's what, and then Dancing Bacons, which is an Asian food YouTuber who we watch. And then for me personally, I also like JK Leads, does challenge run stuff for Dark Souls. Like I am kind of done with Dark Souls lore. I don't feel like I need to know more, but if somebody's like, can you beat this with 2 firebombs total? And then they figure out a way to do it. Like, okay. I'll watch that. And then in terms of like retrospectives and stuff, I also like Majora. I like the name is escaping me. The guy who does like the really scudgy 90s stuff, a lot of it.
I don't know.
Somebody's going to be mad at me for this. They turn up in the Slack a lot. And then politics wise, I have been, one of my, this is self-improvement year for Gary. One of the things I've been thinking about is that, I've talked about this on Everything to Guppy. I'm reading a book on prison abolition because I'm trying to learn, what that's about. And kind of along with that, because he's talked about this and other related topics, I'm finally doing like a deep dive on F.D. Signifier, who does leftist political stuff, but through a black lens. I'm currently watching his very long video about the Hotep movement.
Oh God, that is so interesting.
It's enlightening because like the tact he's taking from it is like, you don't actually know what this is, so shut the fuck up. Because like in my mind, it was like, oh, it's black dude chuds. Yeah. It's just sexist black dudes. And it's gotten so confused though with actual like, radical black, nationalism, which is not just chuds. Right. Like every once in a while, a Hotep will say things like, if you stop eating corn, you don't menstruate. That's fucking weird. That ain't true. Quit saying that. But then they'll also just say things that are perfectly reasonable. Yeah. Leftist thought. So like learning about it, because I don't know very much about it. And it's like, I should. So those are my handful of out of the pocket recommendations.
Yeah. That was so many recommendations.
I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch instead of TV.
Yeah. I have basically like whenever Elephant Graveyard puts something out.
Oh yeah.
Highest recommendation. Gary and we're talking about that. The hour and a half video about the comedy Mothership is currently on deck for me. A lot of like where YouTube would fit in my life is podcasts that I listen to, and I listen to them while I do other shit. So yeah. Yep. So I guess technically a podcast that is a YouTube show that you could watch, Majority Report, really like them. Leftist news, politics, really interesting interviews. Every episode, most of the clips you're going to see are like, dunking on chuds, but they're actual interviews that they do with authors and such, and like union leaders, activists, stuff. Really interesting, really enlightening.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. Another media question. This one's for you. Matthew writes, "Howdy, y'all. Question more for Gary, but Kay may also have an answer. What are your thoughts on Chris Claremont's run on the New Mutants? After reading the post about Jeremy's passing, my condolences. I bought the first omnibus and have been reading through it. I would love to hear your opinions. Also, on several occasions, y'all have mentioned that you have been recommended Gravity Falls as X-Files for kids. Due to Gary's recent expression of love for Adventure Time, I strongly suggest checking out Gravity Falls. The writing is as good, if not better, than Adventure Time, and the vibe is less X-Files and more 90s LucasArts graphical adventure. Excellent animation as well."
Yeah. Thanks for commenting about Jeremy. I've not forgotten about Jeremy. Been a couple months, but I still think about Jeremy every day.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts about Chris Claremont's New Mutants?
No, motherfucker's pretty wordy, so yeah. I don't know.
Can you name one of the New Mutants?
Baby Man. No, I can't. Yeah. Sorry.
I wasn't trying to say that as a test. I just thought it would be funny if like you pulled out Mirage. You're like, holy shit. New Mutants is good. It's wordy, but I like those characters. I've never sat down and read the run itself. I've read the big highlights. So I've read like the Demon Bear saga and where they cross over into the main X-Men shit here. But I like those characters. I like Cannonball. I like those guys. Gravity Falls, Liv likes Gravity Falls, and we have watched the first like 5 episodes or so. I don't like it as much as Adventure Time. I don't think it's as written as well. It might get there, so it's kind of on the back burner, but it might have been built up too much for me, but I was disappointed. I don't think it's as weird as Adventure Time, and it's not nearly as funny. Like the reason why Adventure Time works on me is that it works primarily as a comedy. Like the finale of it made me cry, and almost nothing makes me cry. But like, it's funny to me. That sense of humor, I'm just very on board with it. And there are a lot of jokes in Gravity Falls, but they don't make me laugh. Yeah. There's one joke in like the second episode where they say, "Oh, this character doesn't blink." And the Christian Shaw character goes, "Maybe he was just blinking at the same time you were." And that's funny. Like, that's a really good joke. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm like, that's great. But in the first like 3 episodes, that's the only laugh I had. Yeah. And that's just, it's too much for me. So I believe that it gets good. I believe that it gets weird. It doesn't put its best foot forward, I think. Like, when we rewatched Adventure Time, it's like 4 episodes or so before you get to the one with Magic Man.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's so incredible. Like that's everything that show does right off the gate, basically.
Like you really quickly get to like Finn being afraid of the ocean too. That is some of my favorite like visual gags in that.
Really good.
Yeah, the horse with poo brains. Yeah,
the horse with poo brains. Just Magic Man going magic, and then turning the bird inside out as it tries to crawl away, and Jake and Finn just being like, "Oh God!" Like, the joke there isn't that. The joke is that it's in a kid's show and how the characters are reacting to it.
Yeah.
It just speaks to me. So like, I believe that it gets good. It's not in the memory hole. I'm not saying I'll never give the rest of it a chance, but I did give it an honest attempt and it did not really work for me.
Yeah.
Skylar asked a couple network questions. Hey gang, 2 mildly related questions as I've been listening to a few older episodes. 1, do you have a repository of the special remixes covers of the WAF theme song? I just listened to the New Vegas episode after getting around to the game, and the one-off old-timey version of that theme for that slaps. I know some were listener contributions, but I'd be curious to listen to all the different versions of that have been made over the years. Before we go on to the next question, do we still have the audio welcome pack? I think it's in that.
I think we do have the audio welcome pack. Just do a search on the Patreon for that.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's in there. The listener versions have not been in that. I've been meaning to compile those. I have not done it.
Yeah.
I love the listener versions very much, but I have not done that. So that's on my task mask, but I don't know when I'll do it. And I've also moved houses and computers. Yeah. I'm worried those are on like a hard drive in a closet.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. If you've ever made one for us and you feel like being my best friend, send me a copy again. It'll just help me to have them in email.
Yeah.
Gary at Duckfeed.tv. I would love that. And again, sorry, I don't want to, it makes me feel unappreciative that I don't just have them because it's just flattering and neat.
Yeah. Bad data hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah. It's my fault. Like total mea culpa on that. I should have them. Question 2. I'm sure this has been answered before, but what led to the changeover from doing intro skits with WAF? I know the Abject Suffering intros have a similar flavor, but are usually less related to the game at hand and are usually improv, at least by one of you. The planned and rehearsed comedy writing you did was often very good and funny and doesn't really show up elsewhere on the network. Even if they don't make a return, it was very fun while it was part of the format. Where were you in 2014?
Yeah. There are dozens of them, Gary.
Yeah. Just joking.
Yeah.
Response to those has been mixed historically.
Yep.
For a while, if we searched for the podcast, the negative comment or caveat we would get, I feel like the most common thing we would get is, this podcast is actually really good, but you have to skip past this thing they do at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that always hurt a little bit. That happened all the time. I feel like I've read that like 40 times. Like total 40 different separate posts.
Yeah. There are plenty of those that I'm really proud of. Like, it just became something where it'd be the day of recording and nothing had come to us because the game didn't lend itself to it or whatever. And the thing we came up with was really perfunctory. Yeah. We were
not following inspiration.
Right.
You know, like sometimes we'd be very inspired and there'd be one that I also think are really fun, that I think are really good. If we didn't have inspiration though, making it like a set part of the format was difficult because like, that's not our main thing that we do. We're not sketch writers having to write a sketch for once a week. You know, that was supposed to be a very minor part of what we were doing, but it was it felt bad to put out so much time and felt bad to put out something we didn't like.
Yeah.
Because it was part of the format and it wasn't even the focus,
you know?
And then we would see responses that were like, this show is actually really good once they get to the part they're good at.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well, we could maybe took this off our plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what if we took this pressure off? What would it be better? And we like to think that we've been able to focus more on the body of the episode for that. Like I miss parts of it because it's scripted and scripted writing is different. It's fun. Yeah. But again, I'd rather do it when I'm inspired to do it than as an obligation. Yeah. But I appreciate that you like them. Like there are a great many of them I like. I like that people dug them. I'm glad that they weren't literally for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to move on to lightning round?
Yeah, let's do lightning round.
Yeah. Fringleton writes, "Hey, sup. So what the hell is wrong with ketchup?"
I think ketchup's okay.
It's fine.
I think are you the one? Will hates ketchup. This could be in response to an everything to guppy thing. Will hates ketchup. He thinks it's bad.
Possibly. Yeah, no, I will put ketchup on something. I like to use barbecue sauce in place of it on a burger.
Rodeo burger.
Yeah. Just because it can be a little, just to have just a more interesting flavor profile than just sweet. But I've got nothing against ketchup. It's simple. It's just sugar, but it's fine.
Yeah, tangy sugar. I like it with fries. And I will put it. I don't raw dog a hot dog. Like I like a hot dog, a Chicago style hot dog, but if that is not available, I will put ketchup on it. I like ketchup. It's also like a ingredient for a lot of good sauces. Like shit, your ketchup, your chili needs a little bit of sweetness. You can put some ketchup in there. Nobody will stop you. It can be an ingredient.
Yeah.
You should ask this to Will. I think Will hates ketchup. And I think the answer will just be like, I hate it. I don't think there's a whole lot of why to it. It just doesn't work for his taste. Luke says, I take a bicycle pump and pump you up real big. What an odd thing to say. Assuming Super Mario World logic, where would you most like to float upwards indefinitely?
Fucking nowhere.
Wow. What a menacing question.
I've seen The Curse. Come on.
Yeah, that is a menacing question. I guess I would like to be in my house.
Yeah.
Where I float up towards the ceiling and then I could be safe. And I would live on the ceiling. The top floor would become the bottom floor. Like I'd survive. Using the bathroom would be difficult.
Yeah. I would like to 200% my house.
Yeah. Like that would be, 210%. Get into the extra percent. That's probably, I guess, where? Anywhere with infinity highness, like outside. I'm not interested in asphyxiating.
I would like to do it in the Sistine Chapel because I like it when Italian people yell at me.
Yeah. And you get pointed at by David. Or not David, by whoever that guy is with the point.
Yeah.
Pointy guy. You can sit there and give God, or who's the other fella?
I don't know.
Yeah, God's pointing at somebody.
Adam?
You could be Adam. You could, or you could be God. You could take the place of either one.
Yeah, either one. Yeah.
I
don't know. Bruno writes, hello, love the pods. Here listening from Cordoba, Argentina. What are some of the most unexpected parts of the world you think/know people listen to you from? Also, quick Argentinian horror video game recommendation. Madison is a great early RE7 like. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Madison is it's good. There's some very irritating stealth in that, but otherwise, it is a fine recommendation. I don't know. I'm always happy to find out where people listen to us from. So it is hard to the most unexpected. Basically, anywhere that English is not the primary language, I'm always delighted to hear people listen.
Yeah, I recently heard that we have a listener in Cordoba, Argentina.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Sorry about your president, bud.
Yeah, and that could go for a lot of people.
I know. Yeah,
blanket statement to our listeners. It's not. But yeah, thank you, Bruno. Never met a Bruno in real life. Always like that name. Never met one. So, Chris says, "Hello, hey guys, Greg Jarkin voice. Just curious if you have any of the older Hitman games or any of the entries from the Splinter Cell series in mind for future episodes."
Yes.
What does Danny say?
And Danny says, any chance of seeing Beau is Afraid or Eddington on Unfilmable?
I don't see why not. I want to watch both. I have not watched Beau is Afraid for no really good reason, even though I love Ari Aster. I want to watch it before I put it on Unfilmable because who knows? If it'll make a good fit. I just haven't. Deeply want to watch both those movies. I also have not watched Eddington yet because I want to watch Beau is Afraid first because I'm a psychopath. So
yeah. Don't see a reason why not as of right now.
Matt says, have you played Hitman Absolution? Real weird game, would make an excellent WAF. Hint, hint. Nice try, Matt. We do our recommendations elsewise.
I've played a few levels of Hitman Absolution. That's fine. The problem with it is it's linear, right?
Yeah. I'm not super familiar. So,
Andrew writes, "Hey guys, I watched Existenz the other night, which is a perfect bit of a stretch adaptation to K-movie. Where do you both land on David Cronenberg? Thanks."
Existenz I watched as a teen when it came out with my friends, and I remember us mostly making fun of it, like not having fun with it, making fun of it and thinking that movie was stupid. I have not watched as an adult with new sensibilities at all.
Right.
There's a gun that shoots teeth. There's a part where like it goes, "Do you hear me, Chinese dentist?" or something like that, and it just seemed bad.
Yeah.
To 19-year-old me. I owe it another shot.
Yeah. What if there was a Dreamcast that killed you?
Yeah. I mean, doing an adaptation to K would be a good excuse to give it another shot. I don't know what I would think of it, but it would be, that is a fun idea for a, like something like a wet Dreamcast is a fun idea for adaptation to K.
Yeah. Yeah. I like David Cronenberg. Haven't seen everything he's done, but generally, aesthetically it's cool. Body horror is neat.
Yeah. Some of it I like Scanners. Like there's some David Cronenberg I like. Some of it just feels like it's just body horror just to show it.
Yeah.
I like it when there's something else there supporting it. Like I don't just want to see extreme body horror. I want a cool concept.
Yeah.
Along with it.
Videodrome's good. I like Videodrome a lot.
Chapel says, "Yeah, I have a question for you. How dare you?" Just kidding. The real question is, what's your favorite joke from The Office? That was mine. I do think about that joke a lot.
Yep. Second, where do you get off?
Where do you get off? I like The Office a lot. I think The Office is really, really funny. In general, it's hard to think of an individual joke. The constellation of jokes that's my favorite is the dinner party.
Oh, God.
It's the bed. Steve Carell's little dog bed on the bottom. He just curls up on there so she can stretch out. I think that's really great as just a visual gag. And then I think a lot about unsung player from that show, Mindy Kaling. And there's a part where she talks about, she's in like the executive training thing. And she talks about how she's got this new book she's working on called The Business Bitch. And she's like, and that's just my first one. I have these backups, the fashion bitch, the culture bitch. And it's just a series of like blogs she wants to do. And it's just the blank bitch. And that is such an encapsulation of like a specific kind of blog. Like at the time, the cooking bitch, like that was just what we did as a thing. It's very well observed.
Yeah. The thing that has made me laugh the hardest in The Office, and it's a good show. I like it quite a bit. The thing that has made me laugh the hardest in The Office is when Jim and Pam are first going to Dwight's farm to stay at the B&B.
Oh yeah.
And as they're driving up like the long road, Mose is running alongside them.
God. Yeah. It's really good. Like
basically anything with Mose, like that is tied with when Dwight is trying to take Ryan through all these like rites of passage.
That's really
or whatever.
Good.
And then you think you need to conquer your fears. He takes him into his barn and there's Mose shirtless, like ready to wrestle him. He has fear written across his chest.
The fear Mose is really good.
Yeah.
The episode with the farm is really good too, where he's we make our own mattresses so they don't conform to standard sizes. Just as a throwaway line. Yeah. It's very funny. A funny thing that happens is that if you're in a hotel, the office is on, but they have some kind of contract where it's just Robert California and up. Like you will see something with Sabre printers, whether you like it or not, in a hotel.
Yeah.
It's really strange. That is like a normie show that is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Let's do our topic.
Let's. This is a question that just got promoted from a game question. And this was asked by Dylan, who says, "Hi, y'all. What are your favorite unwinnable scenarios in games? What characteristics of unwinnable scenarios make for good gameplay as opposed to friction?" This question is brought to you by the Frostpunk DLC, which had me staring at the wall for a bit after completing, and I still think about it weeks later. Thanks, Kay, for always playing it on the show. I like talking about things that I like. That one, just so we're aware, there are plenty of Frostpunk DLCs. I think they're talking specifically about the last autumn, which is Unwinnable. You are setting up. It is before the winter has fully started, and you need to set up this colony in order to harvest enough resources so that the other kind of like core camps can be built and run. And that is the one that has the most like labor shit in it. Like instead of the fascism versus religious fascism. Yeah. Instead of that, it's like, do you side with the bosses in order to like more efficiently extract resources, or do you side with the workers to do it safely? Right.
Yeah. Is it literally unwinnable, or is it like an endless mode?
No, it's it is
Does it end in a fail
unwinnable
state? Like,
yeah, so the colony is always going to fall. Is what it is. It is just different levels of success. So you have goals that you meet.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's a distinction that needs to be drawn there.
Yeah,
right. Like an endless mode of like Balatro is unwinnable by that metric.
Yeah,
like there's no ending to it. Like I mean, it kind of is. You can get to Nanymph. But 3 people have done that total. It's more of a glitch than anything else. It's like a kill screen, but like Pac-Man's unwinnable.
Yeah.
Like an unwinnable scenario tends to be, I consider this to be part of a narrative design usually. Yes. And like having a traditional fail case, oftentimes using the signals of like a fail case for your character.
Yeah. Getting rolled by Golbez in the Calcabrina chamber so Rydia can come and rescue you. Right.
And it's interesting because Final Fantasy is the series I have most associated with it. And I have a lot of affection for a lot of those scenarios, but I would also say that I think they do it wrong in that a way to make an unwinnable scenario good is you don't need to tell a player that it's unwinnable, but if you have a scenario where a player can spend a lot of resources trying to win, that is a consummate video game feel bad nutrient. That sucks. Like not knowing that Golbez is going to roll you and like, oh, maybe I have a chance, and wasting your X potions there feels really bad. Yeah. How to solve that's difficult. Like, I don't know what they would have done without giving away the game there.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that without taking away the stakes of it. Well, I mean, the way that you do it is put it at the end of the game, like in Crisis Core.
Yeah, put it at the end of the game. Crisis Core is a really good one, like where there's no reason not to use all of your stuff as a thing. The other thing is you have, so if the game allows for resources, like you can feel bad for that kind of thing. I feel like maybe there should have been like a field or whatever where you couldn't use items. Yeah. Or something like that. Like Golbez takes that ability away from you, or you've had all your things taken from you. Yeah. Beforehand. And then that basically solves it. And in that case, I'm into them. Like, it's cool. I like, my favorite are unwinnable scenarios that you can technically win. Yes. Beginning of a Souls game. Fighting the Asylum Demon when you first run into him, fighting the Stray Demon, or not the Stray Demon, the one in the beginning of Demon Souls.
Yeah, the Vanguard. Yeah.
Vanguard. And fighting the first boss in like Sekiro. Like, you don't get anything for that, which I think is bad. But the idea that like you can actually beat that and then just goes to a cutscene where you narratively lose, I think is cool. That it gives you a little booster if you can do it. That is a really nice way to we understand you need to lose. Sometimes losing has to happen for a narrative. Like the intersection of a game, which is something that in a pure form should entirely be skill-based, and telling a story is where this tension comes from. Yes. Like if you watch a movie or you look at an adventure of any kind, the heroes lose sometimes. If you look at Star Wars, you look at Indiana Jones or something like that, the heroes get captured. They have to do shit like that. This comes up in tabletop all the time. Yeah. It's a big tabletop philosophy thing because like in your story beat, you might want the characters to be captured. How do you get your players to accept that as opposed to just fighting until they die? Because nobody wants to surrender. Nobody wants to run in a game. It's not what you're there to play. That's not why you're there.
How do you do that in a way? I mean, especially at tabletop where it is more directly a discussion between the person, creating the scenario and the people running it. Yeah. Right. Okay, and just like, no, seriously, this is railroady, but this is something that has to happen. So
yeah, I mean, that's one of the ways, right? Is you say it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this has to happen. And then you're giving away some of that drama. It's not a surprise. I did the tabletop game I'm running right now. The players died in the first one and came back, and that needed to happen. And the way I did it was just said it happened. Like they were playing as normies at the time. They were just people, they did not have a chance. If I had them actually play out the combat, I think that wouldn't have worked. And it would have been cooler if it did, but I wasn't capable of squaring that circle.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of how to do it. So hard. It's really hard to do that kind of thing and have it feel both fair and appropriately dramatic and surprising. As a thing.
Yeah. It's a really tricky problem. I think one of the ways too is like, okay, this is a way you can do that while making it feel good, is to somehow like clearly communicate like, hey, you're going to lose at this, but the better you do at it, the easier it is going to get somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, these people are going to go down, but like the longer they can hold out, the more time this other, party or whatever has, to get out of the situation, right?
Yeah. Having a metric for success, like measured success, is really good in an unwinnable scenario.
Or degrees of failure,
right?
Right?
Degrees of failure. Like you can't win, but you can do a better job than not. So there's still reason for you to be checked in. Like knowing the reason why like the Golbez thing worked at all is because it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Because you were going to fight. If you going back to it now, it's like, why even do anything? If I already know the twist, like I can just like let him kill me. Because why not? Like it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Can I give you some good examples of this?
Yeah, of course.
Just top of my head. I fucking love how Resident Evil 7 does this with the tapes.
Yeah.
Specifically the one where you are doing Lucas's Jigsaw escape room.
The birthday party one?
Yeah, the birthday party one. You do it. There's no way for that character to live, but like by doing it, you learn what the weak spot is when you actually go through it as your character. I think that is so fucking cool.
That is really cool. It's the way they do it is like an instant smaller game. You don't have that investment. You're playing as that. Of course, you're going to try your best, but like, that's a really smart way to do it. I like
the time when this really sticks out to me, like as like the first one that I ran into of this. I'm not saying this is the first time it was ever done, but the beginning of Mega Man X, when you're fighting Vile. Like there's nothing that you're using or trying not to consume, but it is there to like show you, like, in a Mega Man game, you're going to be like powering up, but like to show you that like, okay, you're going to fail at this, you're almost going to die, and then here is this hotshot who's going to come in and save you with powers you're eventually going to get, is super clever. I know that this is the second time this week that I've brought this up.
You should just replay Mega Man X and
I probably should spare everybody the trouble. Yeah.
That's a really good one. Like the comment, not having resources is the thing. Yeah. And they do that in different ways. Like it's interesting because Resident Evil 7 is a very resource intensive game. If you were playing through as Ethan during that section, you would be tempted to use healing things when you got hurt or fucked up a puzzle. Yeah. The fact that it's an instanced guy makes that okay. And then Mega Man X isn't a game with that. It has resources later, but they're easily refillable. Like you basically have to do this as a narrative beat that doesn't betray the long-term goals of the player. Yeah. Because then it's the temptation then is to just reload and optimize, even if it would be, dramatically sound for a character to use all those resources in a hopeless thing and have to rebuild. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically like the way to make this good is not fuck the player, I think. Yeah. You can make them feel a little fucked, but you cannot actually screw them over mechanically because they will feel bad.
Yeah. An example of this that I just think is interesting is EverQuest as well. An EverQuest. So in the second expansion where you go to like the icy land, kind of like Antarctica kind of deal, one of the end game encounters in that is against this like dragon that's going to end the world called the Sleeper. And it is, meant to be something that you lose, because when you let it out, it changes the world state. So that another set of raids can happen happens once per server, and like a server rushing to be the ones who let them out, like the guild that did that was, a thing that people tried to orchestrate, wanted to be the first to get there. That is interesting in terms of, you have, thousands of people playing in the same space, and you are meant to throw yourself at this and lose. People, of course, tried to win it, and they eventually figured out how to do enough damage where it would overrun its regeneration. And so like they did kill it, and it didn't have a loot table.
Oh yeah. Because it wasn't meant to be killed.
Yeah.
They moved into a glitch.
Yeah. So just another example of the Sekiro kind of thing.
Yeah. That's like a kill screen almost.
Yeah.
More than that. Like that's like because it didn't just switch to the world state didn't change. Or did the world state change? Did the game act as if they had died?
The GM had like a GM, like somebody basically like a mod for the game had to come in and like flip that switch manually.
That's funny.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah.
No, he still actually won.
Yeah,
it was all a hallucination. There's a reason why this doesn't happen that often in games. Like a version of this that does happen, that's like a smaller version, is getting captured and losing your stuff.
Yes.
Like, and having to get it back or what have you. That can feel like a unwinnable scenario, but that is more just a railroaded plot beat.
Yes.
When Solid Snake or whatever has to get all of his stuff from the trunk, on his way out. Yeah.
And Symphony of the Night made this into a like a cliche almost for that kind of design. The power preview, right?
Yeah.
Where you can do all this cool shit, and then somebody kills you and you lose it, and you got to go pick it up again.
That ends up being like a lot like a because if I recall correctly, I think that's like a FromSoft example where if you do really well at that, you do get some kind of bonus. But I can't remember if that's the case.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Been a while since we covered it, since I played Symphony of the Night. So I think it's a thing that you have to be very careful about because of that intersection between narrative and games. You don't want to cheat. Like, and you don't want to be playing a game, like even when you're playing a video game and it is a one-person experience, like you are having a conversation with the designers, with the concept of the game.
Yeah.
You are always kind of playing D&D when you're playing a video game. There is somebody there running the scenario. You want them not to cheat.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting that there aren't more examples that I can think of that fuck it up like Final Fantasy does. Final Fantasy is the most famous for it, and they're the only ones I can think of right now that do something really wrong with it. I wonder if that ever got better. Like, I haven't played, the 13 trilogy, very much. I played a little bit of 13, but like, I wonder if that's still a thing that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know because nobody plays those. There's two people who played Final Fantasy 16. It's Will and Bob Mackey. Yeah. Let's read some responses.
Let's. We told you, Abe.
Yeah, we told you you were coming. Yeah.
Abram writes, talking about Metroid Zero Mission here, the first game. What an absolute delight of a game. I'm only writing because I'm shocked you didn't camp out on the stupid sexy Chozo statue in the ruins. The one on his side, one leg bent, with the pedestal resting over his junk, giving the camera some bedroom eyes. Here's my screenshot of the scene.
It's pretty good.
It is really good. So like the place where the power up would be, like where you would have to rest, it is right on top of his crotch, as though it was a popcorn bucket.
Like you'd eat grapes off of it without your hands. Yeah. Great. I saw it. I'm sure I got a chuckle of it. And then when we were doing the episode, it was 2 weeks after I played it.
Yeah. And I just
forgot.
I just didn't make a note of it. So,
but good catch. That is very good.
Yeah. Bad on me.
Vivian says, When I first played this game, for some reason, I thought it'd be a direct continuation of Super Metroid. I dropped it pretty immediately because I couldn't screw attack, freeze beam, super missile, etc. Can you imagine how awful that game would be by the end? How would you even balance that? I can't think of many more egregious examples of games that sound great when you're a kid and games that sound awful when you're an adult. Yeah, it's like how you want a jetpack in every video game as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and the example of that, and I have some affection for these games, but the example of this is Scribblenauts. Like when you can literally do the kid thing and just give yourself a lightsaber in every scenario.
I want all the powers. Yeah.
And you can get them and it makes the game not a game. Like in Scribblenauts, you give yourself wings and do everything instantly.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes more of a toy.
Yeah. Agreed. That would have been bad.
Yeah, it's interesting the idea of doing as a game design challenge, like starting with that and moving on to something different. Scaling up from that is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
but I don't think I haven't seen it done.
You get like a limited version of that in Arkham City.
Yeah,
where like you've got some stuff that took a while to unlock in the first game, but it's not.
You also lose a bunch
like
of stuff
that.
too, though.
Yeah.
Like for reasons, just video game reasons. Yeah.
Luke writes, this was my first taste of the Metroid series and Metroidvanias generally, and 23-year-old Luke was absolutely obsessed for a summer vacation. More recently, I marathoned the 2D Metroids in the run-up to Metroid Dread. Chunky sprites on a handheld is peak Metroid for me. I wish we'd had a Super Metroid release and a Metroid 2 remake in that generation, so I could have played all of them in that format.
Me too.
It's a good format.
That would have been great. Like we talked about how they had talked about doing a Super Metroid remake. I would have taken that.
Oh, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Now I don't need it. I can just play that on Switch Online or whatever. But yeah. Joseph says, I really appreciate the excuse to pick up this gem after so many years. The only way it has seemed to age is that the pixels just don't come that big anymore. But even with such a limited resolution, Nintendo somehow made the Must Interactive black light poster. Most interactive. Okay, sorry. Nintendo made the most interactive blacklight poster that I've ever seen by filling in the original gem's rather bland environments with wild Sharpie and highlighter aesthetic, and the surprise stealth really does emphasize the joy of getting caught. P.S. This is my first time writing in, but I've been listening for years. I really do not understand the preference for REM over Power Man 5000. I didn't expect that sentence to end that way. Our perspectives seem to align in a lot of ways regarding media, but you just keep knocking the talented spider zombie. It's not personal.
No.
Yeah, music is just music.
Music's music.
Yeah, I'm an old man and I grew up with REM and I like soft stuff. I like pop music.
Right.
I just think When Worlds Collide is a funny song. Like it's funny to me.
It's a very silly band that makes silly songs.
Don't they dress up as Mega Man in the video?
I don't know.
I think he wears like a Tron suit. He wears like power armor in the music video.
Yeah. So if that is earnest, it's not personal. It's just not a kind of music that we generally listen to, and also it's very silly. But silly things can be good for for some people, not for us.
A thing that I can understand is how anyone would not like REM. Like I love REM, but I understand people being like, "Who are these limp dick posers?"
Yeah, these pussies. Yeah.
Who are these guys fucking queefing into a mandolin? Like I get that. Like I could understand that perspective. It's just like, no, that's my stuff. Guilty. Yeah.
Slap me up. Yeah. To the actual response though, I agree. The aesthetics on Zero Mission are great. Just how bright and colorful it is.
Yeah. It would be an awesome blacklight poster too.
Oh,
like having a big Zero Mission blacklight poster. Get on it, Fangamer.
Please. Chapel writes, in my mind, Zero Mission exists as a companion piece to Fusion. Fusion was my first Metroid that I played at launch as a dumb baby 8-year-old without the capacity to understand it was too talky or too railroady. And because I was so young, those parts of the game just became elemental. Zero Mission, by comparison, felt like Diet Metroid, the same gameplay without any of the cool set dressing. Replaying them as an adult, I'm sort of surprised that I still feel that way. In some ways, Zero Mission makes me appreciate Fusion more. Fusion's talky, but it's kind of cool having more context for what you're doing. It's a railroady, but it's kind of neat how it intersects with the gameplay and narrative. Samus resents being limited, and when you eventually start to disobey your orders, unlocking doors and acquiring upgrades the narrative says that you weren't supposed to, it feels really cool. Zero Mission might be a better cut of meat, but it made me appreciate the dipping sauces that Fusion provides. Or maybe I'm just hungry.
Or maybe that's what Metroid is to you. Mm-hmm. You know, like it is impossible. My reaction to Fusion is impossible to separate from my reaction to Super Metroid.
Yeah.
You know, kind of codifying and Metroid to a lesser extent, even though I was a little kid, but like teaching me, you know, telling me what this game was. Mm-hmm. You know, this is what this is about.
Yeah.
And that just kind of an association that is stuck with me. You know, the times they have broken that to subvert that, I recognize that later on in the game, it does allow to subvert it. You know, like narratively, you start disobeying orders and stuff, but it just never felt like I should get orders in a Metroid.
Yeah.
It felt out of character. Like my Samus wouldn't do this, you know? And there's no reasoning for that. That's just a thing that is true because of when I ran into it.
Mm-hmm. I can understand the desire for more motivation for why you're doing the thing that you're doing than I have this thing now, and I can suddenly press forward further in this direction than I could before. Right?
Yeah. It's a very different kind of era of game design. Mm-hmm. You know, of you know, having a new thing and you can press forward, so you should do it, is very much an old school game thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Moving on to comments about Split Fiction. Micah says, "Dear Gary and hi Kay, I hope you or will say sply-fi. Rhymes with sci-fi at least once during Split Fiction. With bated breath, Micah." No. I wish I had thought of sply-fi, but I didn't. I think sply-fi is very funny.
What is sply-fi supposed to mean?
Science fiction, but split fiction. Like an abbreviation for split fiction.
Split-fi.
Yeah, sply-fi. No. There's a pronunciation guide, not split-fi.
Split-fi.
The propane maniacs. It's sply-fi. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're talking about, Micah.
Yeah.
I wasn't funny,
there.
But we didn't think of it.
Eggy Wets says, Eggy Wets says, big Hazelight fan here. Me and my partner have played all of their co-op games. They're always a fun few hours spent together. However, I'd like to see them add more depth to their games, not just width. Split Fiction keeps you with the given verb set a little longer than the last game, and your abilities kind of grow as the level goes on, but it's incredibly limited. I still enjoyed playing this with my partner, and we were almost certain to bag the next game, whatever it is.
Yeah, same. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really interesting having played all their games. Makes Split Fiction feel so weird after it takes two, because so many of the tricks do feel repeated. Mm-hmm. You know, like I think they maybe get one more of these, where they're just, hey, you can double jump and air dash and wall run, and we're going to give you a small variation on new abilities before they're going to have to do something very different.
Yeah.
Kez says, I played this game right after release with my roommate, who knows a dev at Hazelight. We loved the gameplay and level design, particularly of the fantasy sections, but noticed pretty immediately that the writing was horrible. My roommate sent a joking admonition about the writing to his friend, who responded only with a screenshot of their job posting with a single open position for writer, which they circled and captioned help. They say they're much more proud of their next game. That's awesome. Good to hear. That's very funny. It makes me feel bad about bagging on the writing on the game for 2 hours, since it's somebody, degrees of Kevin Bacon knows the person who did it, but encouraging. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause it is rough.
That is a very funny thing to do. Help.
Yes. Help. It's a fun idea. Like it would be a thankless task, but if you could be the person who
fixes
Hazelight, fixes Hazelight. Mm-hmm. You know, Will makes this point during the episode, and I think it's really smart, is that if anyone else were doing what they were doing, they'd be the second best at doing it.
Yeah.
You know, as a company, that might not be true if they could figure this shit out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but then you'd have to work with Joseph Fares.
Unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Every day an adventure.
Yeah.
You know, unwinnable. Some appeal to how wild that is.
Mm-hmm. This is a long one, and there are two parts to it. Do you want me to take the first and you take the second?
Sure.
Yeah. Alex writes, I'm still midway through the Split Fiction episode, but boy, does Gary's commentary about the plot make me glad I decided not to pick that game up. As a sci-fi fantasy writer, it would have driven me absolutely batty. Two things, though, on the incredibly juvenile sci-fi versus fantasy setup for the plot. One, Gary, I wish you were right that no human being would shit on another in such a juvenile fashion for liking a slightly different genre. But having done my time in the science fiction and fantasy convention mines, I'm sorry to say that I've personally witnessed and been the subject of that kind of chaff. It's mostly the tired old hard sci-fi, masculine coded, versus anything not hard sci-fi, feminine coded vein, which I suppose is how certain fans let their misogyny yayas out. But I have indeed been informed on multiple occasions that I am stupid and the fiction I write and like is also stupid because I have no interest in representing mathematically accurate orbital mechanics. Good Lord.
Yeah. That sucks. Those people aren't serious or worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
I guess like when I was saying nobody would do it, that's probably closer to what I meant.
Yeah.
Was that, I can conceive of somebody doing this, but you would just be like, cool. And then you just not talk to them.
Uh-huh.
If you had okay.
Yeah.
And then leave. Like if people were seriously debating, sci-fi is good and fantasy is real stupid, in like a writer's workshop or something, I would leave that writer's workshop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not so much that I can't, there are more people on heaven and earth. Like there's every kind of guy, but like, that's not worth taking seriously.
No, not at all. You don't have to do that.
Yeah. And hopefully you didn't take that seriously. Also, we're the misogyny yayas. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second part of the question. In a speech he gave upon receiving an award from the American Humanist Association last year, Ted Chiang made a really good case for setting aside the aesthetic trappings of science fiction and fantasy and instead viewing the genres through a lens of who or what moves the plot. I'm grossly oversimplifying this, and also I wish I could find a recording of the speech, but haven't been able to. But basically, science fiction becomes the genre of naturalistic universe, in which characters are fundamentally equal in their ability to interact with the universe, whereas fantasy posits a supernatural element that does not act equally on everyone. And naturalistic here doesn't actually mean that there can't be magic. It's that if you decide magic exists in your universe, it is a thing everyone interacts or is something that requires some kind of special element. E.g., you can write a science fiction story where ghosts exist as long as everyone could potentially interact with the ghost via some kind of technology, or because everyone just can, and then just go from there. If only special mediums or people who have had near-death experiences or whatever can interact with ghosts, it's fundamentally a fantasy story. Now, I don't know if I agree with Ted on this 100%, but it would certainly be a much more interesting idea than laser guns are dumb. Oh yeah, fairies are dumb, which is where a lot of people, including Split Fiction, seem to be stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is an interesting distinction. I don't know if it's all encompassing, but it does satisfy one of my it confirms one of my priors, which is that Mass Effect is a fantasy series and not a sci-fi series.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, it's interesting because it's both, right? Because like there is a thing, aesthetics are a thing. Like when I think about, I like dragons more than I like spaceships. It's just an aesthetic preference. It doesn't mean the kinds of stories, but that's a parallel concern to what kind of stories they are. I think magic is cooler than technology. Yeah. But in terms of telling stories, you can tell stories I really love with both.
Yes.
In kind of both modes. It's just an aesthetic and genre getting mixed up. Like genres do have aesthetic markers, but aesthetics are not genre.
Yeah.
It's a squares and rectangles thing.
Sci-fi horror versus fantasy horror. Genres are, I don't know. The more seriously you take the distinctions, the more granular they get, the less necessary they seem. Yeah.
It's useful to the degree it is useful, as always, but genre is always going to feel reductive, and it's always going to, like when you evoke a genre, you are invoking something that somebody has in their brain already.
Yeah.
Like if you describe something as reggae, that makes me think of a certain thing, whether it actually describes what you're talking about or not. Like I'm bringing everything with that. So it's basically like, we talk about this all the time. We talk about genre, like beginning of a conversation, not the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the wide part of the funnel.
Basically, what I want is anything that steers us away from those images that people post to promote their books that include every trope that is included in the book.
Genre tag as literature feels lazy and horrible to me.
Yeah, I understand that's just a way people consume and find out about books. I can still dislike it.
But I wish they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it still feels artless and gross to me to have things, because like I can't relate to the idea of like, if this has enemies to lovers, I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, dude,
the Locked Tomb has that, but also like it's not just that.
I'm just begging you to be more complicated than that.
Yeah,
like, it just, and I know you are, but there's just something about how you're filtering that is just feels wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercenaries. Moving on to mercenary stuff. Malachi writes, in my experience growing up with games, there are a few that were really big milestones that redefined what a game could be to me. I first played Mercenaries at a friend's house when I was 10. At the time, a game that effectively just dropped you in, comparatively a massive world, and said, have fun, was something that I had never experienced before. I believe this was my first real experience with both a completely open world and with several MSIM elements. I still remember storming the Ace of Spades compound after hours and hours of playing, only to accidentally kill him by dropping a wall on him. Yeah.
Yes. Great. No notes. Something that I remember from the sequel, after we did this, I watched some gameplay footage of the sequel. I had played it, and one of my memories of this game, you know, that I didn't have when we replayed it, I was like, that didn't happen. Did I just approach that differently? It's actually a thing that I remember doing in the sequel that I was transposing to this, is one of the bosses is inside a building. And as a kid, I remember being like, can I just knock down the building? And it was huge. Like, it's like a skyscraper. There are bigger buildings in the second one. And the answer is yes. You can just collapse the building the guy's in.
Yeah.
Fucking love that. As
a kid, you mean a 28-year-old?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a 28-year-old man. Engaged, possibly. With a 401k. That kind of kid.
Yeah. One of those.
Yeah, one of those children.
A bossed baby, if you will.
Yeah. Boss adult. Not a good movie.
No. The sequel nobody asked for.
Yeah. Boss old man. The boss elderly.
Yeah.
Boss corpse. The Chapel says, I've been waiting literal years since Gary name dropped Mercenaries on an old episode for y'all to cover this game. So excited that's finally here. It's such a weird fucking game. One of my favorite parts of it that I've never heard anyone talk about is how messed up the scale of everything in the game world is. Entire cities consist of like 8 buildings. A mountain range consists of a few hills and 1 tree. If you walk up to the skyscraper from the Ace mission, your character is like 2 stories tall because they've scaled the building down so much. To me, this evokes the same feeling I had as a kid while playing with G.I. Joes. Mercenaries is the video game equivalent of a tiny action figure playset. I've never played another game more like that. I think Mercenaries 2 is a better game, but it's also much more normal than this one and doesn't have half the charm. Yeah, playing with G.I. Joes is a good comparison point.
Yeah, there are points where it kind of feels like you're on a set of a Godzilla movie a little bit.
Yeah. Like, that kind of abstraction of space is huge in games. You know, houses in Final Fantasy, nobody lives there.
No.
Towns in Final Fantasy, like, everything's a shop, but nobody goes there. But when you're actually interfacing with the buildings and you're, as tall as them, walking up to them, it changes it. Feels slightly less abstract and puts in this weird middle.
Yeah. But that is a neat and a weird thing about this game.
Yeah. G.I. Joe is a great comparison.
Yeah. Francis writes, greetings, lad and ladette. I'm usually very bad about hitting the deadline of the 15th of the month, but for Mercenaries, I had to take time out to express my love for this game. The open world full of soldiers fighting and the freedom to GTA your way around with any vehicle or weapon you take from a corpse was jaw-dropping to me when I bought this game at release as a 16-year-old pile of acne and angst. I still remember having one of the first lower-level targets on my shoulder and running from soldiers when I discovered that I could throw them into a truck's passenger seat and drive out for a full reward. It was a revelation to me at the time. I suspect that the ability to be friendly to all factions pretty easily, and the samey gameplay loop would make me think less of it now, but it lives in my memory as a top-tier experience. Pity the second one sucks so much except for that banger piano track.
Yeah, I still think the first one's pretty fun. Might be worth giving a shot. It does, can wear out its welcome a little bit.
Oh, you mean
it's
the second one?
Or the first one.
Okay.
In terms of, if you decide to revisit.
Yeah.
I was surprised to still have fun
Mm-hmm.
with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I need to retry the second one. We have had a comment say like, oh, that one sucks. And another person say that's a better one. So I need to give that another shot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, glad you enjoyed it. Glad to finally do it. I don't know why I waited this long.
Yeah.
Because it's long. Because it's kind of a long game, so it had to be the right month. And finally, Jake says, what a treat to see this classic come up on your rotation. Mercenaries was the first game I bought after my parents relented and allowed a console into the house. I sink hours into it, even learning how to obtain OP vehicles, allied vehicles like the M1 Abrams and the attack helicopter on the second map, and did just about everything short of completing all the collectibles. Years later, I flashed back to it while studying in China and visited the Dengdong on the border to see the real-life bridge that gets destroyed in the final South Korean mission, as well as its twin bridge destroyed in the 50s. Interesting speculative fiction, given it came out 5 or 6 years before Kim Jong-un was publicly named for the first time. The random side quest minigames like moving barrels for the mob were a bit odd, and the game would have been fine without them, but I appreciate how they made the world you live in just a tiny bit more lived in. The destroy any building gimmick got old a little early, even as a teen, but Sergei's line, "Get me a monkey," lives rent-free in my head. Wonderful performance by James Hong as Colonel Zhang as well. Feel free to skip this last sentence, but congratulations, Kay, and condolences on the loss of your good friend. Much love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you on both counts.
Should have timed that coming out differently. Doing that at the same time we lost Jeremy, honestly,
Pretty inconsiderate of me. Yeah.
Or inconsiderate of Jeremy. Obviously it is funny the way that the messages
it's always
have been all congratulations and I'm sorry that happened to you instead of war. It's like a very funny confluence.
It is. Yeah. Destroying the buildings never got too terribly old for me. It was always fun to do.
And it's a tool.
Yeah.
I talked about this in the episode. I'm going to say it again. I love how much more fun chaos is in Mercenaries than GTA because it can be part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
It can accomplish a goal as opposed to just being, I'm going on a shooting spree because we're passing the controllers and we have cheats on.
Mm-hmm.
It's incorporating that shit into your game is always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for writing in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. If you have thoughts about September's games, you can write in by September the 15th. That is always the deadline for any given month's games. Those games are The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which is a guest episode that I am doing with Bob Mackey. Mm-hmm. Outer Wilds, The Echoes of the Eye DLC. And the premium episode for that month is Against the Storm.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we will have a separate episode for the Storm.
Equal balanced.
And you have the spreadsheet open, Kay. What are we doing in October?
In October, we are doing Mouthwashing as our first game. I'm so excited to talk about this. It's so good. We're doing the Silent Hill 2 remake. We're playing Cryptmaster, the typing dungeon crawler. And our premium episode for that month is something we've talked about doing for a while. F.E.A.R, the first F.E.A.R game.
Exciting month. Like those are all games I am excited to play. Like I played F.E.A.R before, but out of those, that is the only one I've played. And I've wanted to talk about it because I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Going to be a cool month.
Yeah. Always my favorite month to put together.
If you have things to say about any of those games, the deadline is always the 15th. So September 15th and October 15th, respectively. October, clear your calendars. We're going to be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo this year. We are not tabling, so we will not just be posted up, but we will be walking around both days, and we are paneling both ourselves and paneling with Retronauts. And we have guest Retronauts on our panel as well. And we have a meetup on Saturday. I'm waiting for the venue to confirm. So we will have announcements about that on social media, but we will definitely be doing it.
Yes.
The honest truth is if they say like, yeah, we can't put up a sign for you, we'll still just do it.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's a public place.
They just get more customers. Yeah.
They'll just get more customers and they'll fucking like it.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll put aside a little space for us. So come hang out.
Please, we would love to see you. And if you see us, do not feel afraid to come up to us. We've had people say before, no need to be intimidated.
No, we're nice, and that's part of why we're there.
Yep.
It's a fun show if you've never been as well.
Yeah.
Like it is a cool and fun show.
Agreed.
Yeah. A cool thing this year, I noticed this is the first year and first convention appearance of Summoning Assault.
Oh shit.
Who is the person who does the speedrun explainer videos.
Wow.
The big Git or PRG, so they're going to be paneling as well. I might try to see that.
I want to go see that too. Yeah.
So come check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else can they do?
Well, you can support the show and the network by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. That's how you get the full versions of those premium episodes. So this month, this is how you get the Mercenaries, the full Mercenaries episode. It's how you're going to get the Against the Storm episode and the F.E.A.R episode. Basically, any of the premium WAFs we've done, you get for $5. It's a very good deal.
We think so. And like anything like this, you get to make sure we keep doing this.
Yes. Yeah.
If you like it, you are directly capable of helping it continue.
Yeah.
So this is, as mentioned in the question earlier this episode, this is our job. The reason why we can do this is because of you.
Yes.
So we get a bunch of other stuff as well. We try to make that a very enticing thing.
Yes.
And we appreciate doing that. Here's something we haven't said in a while. You get access to the Slack. The Slack's fun. Get to talk to people in the Slack.
Come hang out. It's a chat room.
Yeah. That's, big thanks to Gwen, our producer. Thanks, Gwen.
Yes.
Leave us ratings, reviews, and Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, things like that. I think that's it.
Yeah. And I'll see you next week with Bob Mackey talking about Majora's Mask.
Yeah. And I won't. I'll be smoking and shooting dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that earlier, and I called it General Ne'do-wellery, which is a word that I'm proud of. I'm
going to go get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I did not play Majora's Mask. Instead, I am joining gangs.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week.